Hi, this is Hannah Leatherman with the Northland Caps Global Business and Logistics strand, and I'm going to be telling you about my internship this last semester at Remax House of Dreams. So, Remax was founded in Denver, Colorado in January of 1973 by the couple Gail and Dave Lineger. And since then, Remax has grown to have over 140,000 different agents in over 110 countries and territories, reaching every corner of the world. The Remax that I've been working at is located in Platte City, Missouri, and it is co-owned by Patty Farr and Larry Ryan. And while Larry Ryan plays a big part in the office, Patty is the broker and the one that I've been following around, so I'm going to tell you more about her. Alright, so here's me showing up to Patty's office. It's located at 303 Marshall Road in Platte City, Missouri. Right now it's probably 9:55. I usually get there that time each morning, a few minutes early. Patty is best known. She has actually made $32 million a year before doing what she's doing. Oh, there's her license plate. She has earned the Remax Hall of Fame Award and the Remax Lifetime Achievement, meaning she's made over $3 million in a year and has worked with Remax for 7 years. So here's the building. They actually own this building and rent it out to a bunch of different businesses. There's Patty's door. And then down there there's a dentistry, there's a photography place, there's all kinds of things. Some of them are empty like this one here, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you that. And I guess I'm not, because someone came in and I got scared. Anyway, we're gonna go back to Patty's door here. You're gonna walk in and you'll see the front desk. From there, you'll see the Remax logo, and then on the left, we'll see the phases for the neighborhood that they're building in Platte City, and then there's Patty's chair, and there's my chair. If you needed any more reasons for me to prove to you what makes this location so great, I would say it's location. It's located less than 30 minutes outside of the city, and it's also really close to a lot of neighboring towns, making it easily accessible for all kinds of clients to get access to Patty and her services. Moving on, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company's organization. As you can see, there aren't very many people working behind the scenes of this operation. However, that means everyone's role is pretty self-explanatory. Being the broker, Patty leads, mentors, negotiates, and ensures customer service. This also means making sure that transactions are done in an ethical manner. As a co-owner, Larry strategizes, develops, invests, and manages profits. He's more on the financial side of things while Patty works more with the people. Larry is also currently helping coordinate a new development in Platte City. Tony, Patty's son, manages, maintains, and handles day-to-day needs as the office manager, and Maddie, her granddaughter, supports, prepares, and communicates on Patty's behalf, basically filling in for Patty wherever she needs her. Finally, the agents list properties, negotiate contracts, show properties, guide clients, and so much more. Agents are under a 1099 contract, meaning that they're technically self-employed. What this also means is that they choose their own work hours and that their yearly salary falls back on them. Like I said, usually the agents, they get to make their own schedules, so most of the time when I'm there, I don't see anyone. Except I usually see Patty. Today there was a CE class, so there's some agents in the back there, but most of the time it is literally a ghost town. Oh, I'm looking at the chief stuff now, I guess. It's literally a ghost town, and the only people I see there is Patty, Larry, and Maddie. It really goes to show you how much the agents determine their schedules. I'm now going to tell you about the company policies. When hiring someone, they must have their real estate license, and then they'll have an interview with Patty. If things go well, then they'll be hired. When it comes to firing, Patty will take the person and address the situation, and from there, they can either send them to a different broker, or their license can be removed by the state. Moving on, employee grievance procedures. A lot of these aren't really necessary because the agents aren't in the office very often. But when it comes to employees and clients, you can take it to the state and make a complaint. Or if it's agent to agent, like from two different brokerages, it's going to go through the broker and then hopefully be resolved. Remax House of Dreams has zero tolerance for sexual harassment. In the event of this happening, it will be taken to the state and the person accused will have to pay a fine or worse. While Patty has never dealt with a situation like this, that is how she's outlined the procedure to be. As far as job promotion goes, all agents are under a 1099 contract. What this means is that they're basically independently working for themselves. They don't answer to anybody except for the brokerage. That's why in the corner here it says non-employee. What this means is that how much money they make in a year depends on them, so there isn't really room for promotion. However, if they choose, they can sell more and make more. As far as conflict resolution goes, Patty says that she will hear out both sides and then from that point forward make a decision. Again, a lot of the agents aren't in the office, so she doesn't really have to deal with conflicts, but she said if that's what were to happen, that's how she would handle it. When it comes to employee benefits, the brokerage will not offer basically any of these things. This is, again, because of the 1099 contract. Generally, what agents will do, as far as health insurance or life insurance, is they'll either have to shop around or their spouse has it, so it really depends on the situation, but it's never going to be provided by the brokerage. Other benefits that they don't receive, paid time off, obviously because they choose their own schedules, they just don't have to work whenever they don't want to work. And then stock options, fringe benefits, and retirement plans. Again, if you don't want to work, you don't have to work, you set your own schedule, so a lot of this is based on themselves rather than the brokerage giving them these options. Finally, sick catastrophic leave. Again, you kind of make your own schedule, so if you're sick, you just don't sell houses and you don't make money, and that falls back on you. The brokerage doesn't suffer as much as you will as far as sick leave, catastrophic leave. So a lot of it is just going to fall back on the agent, and the agent is really held responsible for their role in the brokerage. So for my demonstration, it was kind of hard to pick just one thing because every day looks a little bit different. So here I'm going to show you, I'm making these files for the tax documents for each month of this year, and I wanted to censor just some of the things because there are account numbers on there and stuff like that. But I'm just going to go in and I'm going to write every single thing that she's filing taxes for, like her credit cards, her company cards, the payroll for Apollo, which is Larry Ryan's management company. And so I'll just go in and do that. I went ahead and I did this just for the month of June, but I've also done it all January through December. So it ended up taking a lot of time because there's 12 of each, maybe a little less. But you could just go ahead and see me doing that. So moving on, I actually got to sit in on a CE class, which stands for Continuing Education. Every real estate agent needs to do this if they want to renew their license, and they have to renew their license every 2 years. So it was pretty cool. I got to sit in and listen to him talk a bit.
Really just care less, but hopefully the person that you pick, this is just stuff that you need to be asking.
I'm going to cut really quickly to Windmill Creek, just because we briefly stopped here one day. It's not really in our daily routine, but I wanted to show you guys what she's been working on. But moving on, Patty also, she's very involved in the community, so she's involved in a lot of fundraisers. So here, this was for the YMCA Easter event. I was making Easter basket for the kids, and so you could see me putting them together, assembling them. It took a little because there were like 150 kids or something like that, but there's the little basket. I think what I'm really trying to show is that Patty is involved in a variety of things and that each day looks very different, so it kind of keeps you on your toes, and that's something I've really enjoyed about working with her. And now here we can see there's the final result. I made more than 2, by the way. Now it's time for an interview with my supervisor, Patty Farr. Okay, so my first question is, what is an essential professional skill needed at this internship?
Okay, to be a real estate agent, you want to go to school. It's 48 hours. Then you go, and they train you to take this test. Then you go take your state test. And then you go back and take your 24 hours, which is the main thing to pass that state test. But once that you come aboard with us, we will teach you all the paperwork. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that you'll learn. It's personality is number one. Mm-hmm. You have to have a good personality. You have to love people, or it won't be for you. And then everything costs. When you're a real estate agent, you have to be prepared because everything costs. All the fundraisers you do, all the giveaways you do, and then the most important thing is really about the people. Mm-hmm. You have to love them, you have to get along with them, and you have to always say, if you're wrong, right, or indifferent, you always want to say, I understand. Mm-hmm. That I understand is going to get you out of everything. And then after you leave them, you can think, what did I just do? But
So like communication is like a big part of
communication is, yes.
Okay. And then what have you done to like master this skill as an agent?
Myself?
Yeah.
I started 20 years ago. Wasn't for sure. I jumped into it. And so I was an agent for 8 years, and then I decided I wanted to be a broker owner. So then I went to school to be a broker owner, and then I decided I wanted to be a girl builder. Then I decided I wanted a rental company. So I started a rental company. You just have to have goals, and then I wanted to be a developer. So we do have a big development. It's what your goals are. There's some agents, they don't care if they sell or not. They don't care if they buy groceries or not, or gas. And then you have to remember, me, myself, I like to eat. So I have to get out there. So advertising. Go to all the fundraiser events that you can.
So just, putting yourself out there.
Put yourself out there, you bet.
And is that easy for you?
It is for me. The first 2 years, I took all my money I made from real estate and put it back into advertising. And I advertised myself. I didn't go out and advertise Remax or
so building your brand and stuff
building
like
your
that.
brand, yeah.
Okay, so for me, as far as communication, is there anything like any advice you'd give me on how to put myself out there?
Communication is, so I'll tell you what one agent did. He took 10 cards a day. He didn't care if he gave it to Sonic. He didn't care if he gave it to the window at McDonald's. He gave out 10 cards a day. You give your cards out. I wear my pen every day. Anywhere you go, you always want to show that you work there.
Getting that exposure.
And it's a conversation piece. Always have your cards. I give out pens. I buy pens with my name on it, and I give them to all the restaurants. I have gotten a few people that say, I got your name from a pen. So, yeah. So you just want to put, but I will say the first 6 months, it is rough. But you have to be prepared. You have to want to do it. And then the other agents, some of the newer agents are so rude and just they're just mean. You want to make sure that you get along with them and just don't do what they do, because one day you might have to work with them again.
So like manners, communicating.
Yes, and you do have a lot of new agents out there that do not have that.
So that like sets you apart a little bit.
Sets you apart, because I'm always willing to help all those new people. But you've got some that there's no helping. Just take off. Don't look back.
Just keep working at it.
Keep working at that one.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope that you become an agent. And
I hope so too.
So,
I'm now going to summarize my experience at Remax House of Dreams over the last few months. As far as roles and responsibilities go, I didn't really have any set responsibilities, just because so many of the things that went on inside of Patty's office were just things I could observe rather than actually be a part of, because it is a legitimate business contract and deal that's going on. But something that we would always do is we'd look at Patty's calendar and we would kind of go over what our week would look like and what time I need to get there and where we were going. The skills I developed: professional, I developed communication skills, and it was mostly conversational, because I have a hard time getting my social battery up a lot of the time, but Patty's job is obviously very social, and so that kind of forced me to become social, which I'm very grateful for, but it was definitely a challenge. And then technical, I wouldn't say I have these skills, but I think now that I can kind of navigate around these things. So Dotloop, which is a big website that real estate agents use to upload documents, and then just various real estate documents, I think I can kind of navigate them now, not so much do it independently, but I definitely have a better idea. Skills I already had: I had communication, but again, it was more in the polite way rather than conversational, so I can express what I need to be done and things like that, but I didn't really know how to do small talk, especially whenever there was a generational gap. So that definitely, I already had communication. And then time and project management, I've always been able to manage a schedule because I've grown up with multiple jobs and stuff like that. And then I also already had done some work on Excel. I wouldn't say it was super proficient, but I was familiar with it. My relationship with my supervisor was very casual and family-like. Patty runs a family business, so she treated me basically like one of her granddaughters. She was very nice and outgoing, and she would on occasion buy me things. She was very sweet and just went above and beyond to make me feel comfortable. The most valuable part of my internship was, I think, having access to Patty's network, just because, once again, I don't have a very big network and I find it hard to bring myself to reach out to people. So just putting myself in the community and being able to talk to new people was a very big deal for me. And then something I would caution future associates about is that there's really no project, and that there are little to no independent responsibilities, meaning that a lot of it is just listening and paying attention to what she's doing, just because, again, most of the things I can't actually be a part of because they're real business transactions. So I would just caution you future associates to recognize that before going into this internship. Outside of that fact, I really did enjoy my internship with Patty, and I would definitely recommend it to any future associate looking to go into real estate. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned a little about my time at RE/MAX House of Dreams.